Welcome to Drafting Out Loud, where we make sure that we fulfill our promise of attempting to follow all of Peter Overzet's rules in a draft. And then another one, we try to break all the rules. And we have a draft going right now. I have on screen all the rules that we're either going to have to try to follow or break. Now, the way we're going to do this, kind of nervous, by the way, about this, just because I have had some odd, ranks in my thing. I have 0 ranks in right now. Is we are going to let the first couple rounds go by to determine which way we're going to go. Because I think the one that's going to be the hardest to fill probably is this no tight ends through five, in that I want to give the best chance of breaking the rules work as well as the best chance of following all the rules work as well. So we don't know which way we're going to go first with this one, but it's going to be one of the two. And we are in pick number 9 on the board. And if we get a tight end that hits us at ADP, we'll probably just go that route. If not, we might then, go the other route and try to follow all the rules. But we're going to give both of them an honest shot, breaking the rules and following the rules, and see which team we like more. Not having my ranks up for any of the players does make it, you feel a little naked. But what did we learn? What have we learned recently? The rookies are falling right now. So we're going to let rookies go through a little bit. We're not going to target the rookies. Um, and then we're going to, of course, try to follow the rules, see what happens. And we're in pick number, where are we? 10. Oh, pick 10. I thought we were pick 9. Pick 10. So pick 10, uh, actually kind of nice. We're going to end up with one of these wide receivers with that pick. CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra, or Justin Jefferson. We're going to go in that order. Okay. We're going to pick up Justin Jefferson. I like that. Haven't gotten him a whole lot. And usually he was going earlier than I even had a chance to get him. So it's nice to actually run into him. So that's one wide receiver so far. And then at pick number 15, a tight end wouldn't be at ADP. So we're not going to go. So, but Colston Loveland in the 4th round makes sense, right? A little central division correlation. So if we know we're going to try to do something like that, we definitely want to get a running back um, with this pick. When does Colston Loveland go? 48. And this is a pick that's primed for running back. You can see it's all running backs available right here. I was hoping Ashton Genty would fall to me. We're gonna take Jordan Love. I'm not. A-Chain's fallen. Hampton's falling. Love's a rookie. He's fallen a little bit less than the other ones. We're gonna go Love. Now, this is where maybe you run into some problems potentially in that who's available for running back in the next round. At pick number 34. Oh, look at that. Kyron Williams. So we could go totally anti what he wants because if you recall, it's no tight ends through 5 and 2 running backs through 4, but never Kyron. So if we're planning on getting um, Loveland with one of our next picks, we actually don't have to follow the 2 running backs either. So let's see what happens here. I'm not sure what I did when I had Justin Jefferson in the past. Let's see if we can find it. So this is my first share of actually Justin Jefferson in the first round. This is my first share of Justin Jefferson completely on underdog. It's not. Maybe it is. I don't know. We'll find out. We're coming up on our next pick here. This might be my first pick of Justin Jefferson on underdog. Took a while to get that one, but we got it. So there are no running backs available here at this pick. So we, I guess, learned one of the problems. So it's between Tet and T. We are going to go just based off ADP right now. We'll go Tet. And then our next pick, because we're going to break the rules, and it makes sense, we're going to break the rules with Colston Loveland if he makes it to us. That's my first share of Justin Jefferson, by the way. Three running backs. So this is actually, I think, beneficial a little bit if the way that it's running out here. I like when this happens because we can push running backs around each round from here on out and either force them into super heavy running back builds when they don't need it. Who are we gonna pass? So we're passing up on Bucky. Some interesting players, but let's go Colston Loveland. I do like Loveland, I think, more than Burden. Loveland just seemed to be targeted in a way that was more repeatable than Burden. And while I think there are some other interests, I like, Ibuka. Devonta Smith, I like a lot just because he could be number one. I think going with Loveland there is totally acceptable. In fact, his ADP on DraftKings is slightly um, higher, like maybe pick 40 versus here it's a little bit lower than that. Henderson going in the middle of the round. So by taking Loveland there and only having one running back, where's Swift going these days too? It might open up a Swift thing for us. 58 for Swift. So we could go Swift and Caleb Williams to do a Bears stack if we wanted to. Rome's around this point as well. If we want to do a Bear stack with Rome, that would work also. Yeah, see, it's just tough to get a, two running backs through four. I swear I had these guys in round five on our sheet we were looking at. Or if I did that wrong. There goes Roma Dunze, all the beginning. He's got no QBs. Where's Luther in here? He doesn't have any QBs either. So the night, oh, he went Swift. Okay, so we missed out on that as a running back stack. We can still get Caleb at 63 if we want to, most likely. Where does he usually go? 69. So we're not gonna be able to push him back around though. So it's either getting Caleb there or not getting him at all. Waddle fall would be Terry fall would be nice. Christian Watson, stacking with getting another central NFC central guy would be nice. There goes Waddle. So now it's between McLaurin and Watson. We're going to go McLaurin. Just get the ADP fall, and then we can get the Terry Jane Daniels thing. Probably won't get Caleb, but that's okay. We might not even get Jaden. If we don't get Jaden, then we definitely get Caleb. Expect Joe Burrow to go over here because the T Higgins drafter was, and oftentimes the Joe Burrow drafter will take him. There are a lot of other Packers that you can get. So we can always get a Reed, a Golden, a Tucker Kraft as our second tight end. There goes the Joe Burrow right there to the Higgins drafter. Oh, and he took Jaden Daniels also. Interesting. So I do think it makes sense to take Caleb Williams here, especially because we have a drafter that took two quarterbacks early. And this one also took two quarterbacks early, which means that everyone else is going to be stressing more for quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts went. Sometimes he makes it all the way around into the 80s, but not this time. And probably smart of him again to lock him up, especially considering he's got both of the right now Phillies wide receivers. That makes sense. The rookies are falling. You can see there's Lemon, Tyson as the top two on the board. Now, what do we want to do with this next pick? We broke what rules, if any, do we still need to break? We broke the. We can pull it up. Okay, we got a tight end in the first 5 rounds. We did not draft two quarterbacks, and we need to make or two running backs, and we need to make sure we don't draft three quarterbacks. We are well on our way to breaking this one. The guy in the number one hole got both the rookie wide receivers, Lemon and Tyson, to go with Evans, who's the veteran of all veterans. So that's kind of makes sense a little bit from a build perspective. Gets the value based on ADP there. Tucker Kraft, if we wanted to go like double tight end. Also, Dart, when I was going to say maybe if Dart falls to us, that'd be an interesting pick as well in the same division as Washington. Because Washington is Dallas, New York Giants, Philadelphia. We've kind of been boxed out of that one a little bit. Jalen Warren goes. Such a not fun range for players, if you ask me. We're going to pull up Addison for the potential double on Kyler Murray. We don't do that often, but it also is a bring back on Chicago. And Addison is rising up the boards, so that makes sense. Tucker Kraft went, that would have been an option for us if he got back around. But we already have one tight end. You don't want to invest too much in tight end, especially not at like ADP, not at value. We do need, Ramondre Stevenson would have been our next pick if we pushed him out. He took a fourth running back. Kai Manungai, such an ugly pick, but maybe it makes sense here. I don't think it does. Tyler Algier. I was considering like Chris Godwin right there, or Michael Pittman even right there. Let's not wait too long to get our second running back. Ideally, Algier at least starts off strong, which will counteract the Jeremiah slowness, and Monangai, I'm just not gonna draft. I'm not drafting much Monangai at all. I don't think I maybe got him once when he fell. But I don't want to get him at cost. He was a sixth round pick, I think it was, or maybe a seventh round pick. There's a chance that he even gets replaced this year. You never know. Probably not, but I don't know if he's the type of I don't know if he's the type of player that you want to get right now. So we do have two running backs, two over two running backs. Kyler Murray's now going 108, which is kind of right at ADP here, so that's nice. We can get him. Brock Purdy goes to the Mike Evans drafter. That makes sense. Basically around ADP. And he gets Blake Corum, who's a bring back on San Francisco, and his third running back. That makes sense also. Xavier Worthy going early in this draft. Usually goes after pick 100. If they make it, we'll try to push Kyler Murray. There's no. Oh no. Oh yeah. We'll try to push Kyler Murray. There's no one else that has a Minnesota thing going on, but there's a guy at the end of the draft that does have a Arizona. Oh, he got two QBs though. He does have an Arizona thing going. You can make a mistake and grab Kyler Murray thinking he's still in Arizona. Um, that's a Central Division guy right there in Laporta. I like Tony Pollard if he continues to fall. Wow, Baker Mayfield went. I feel like we got to get. Um, we're gonna go Godwin. He's just too much of a value. He's been rising up the boards. This was his other price, and we'll just keep on hammering at good wide receivers. Kyler Murray, we hope we can get here. We're going to miss out on Tony Pollard, which I do like the Tony Pollard pick. I do like the J.K. Dobbins pick as well. He's they, he's got two QB. He took Reed. I like the Reed pick also. I haven't done much Murray. I've done no Jefferson on underdog. So just slightly nervous that Murray doesn't make it all the way around to us. Gadsden pick on that team. I'm not sure what that does. Or Jordan Love with Kraft. That makes sense. We'll go Kyler Murray right now because we do have the double stack in Minnesota. It's also a bring back with Chicago. That is working. If Tony Pollard make it all the way around, that'd be amazing. He won't though, but if he did, we are looking really good at wide receiver right now. There goes Tony Pollard. We're going to have to make it up with volume at running back. And that's kind of what you expect when you draft a team like this. So what do we need to do? We cannot draft another quarterback in the next 3 rounds. But with Williams and Kyler Murray, I don't really want to in most cases personally, especially, Williams is a little bit on the earlier side of the quarterbacks. We definitely fall past this one, and we did get our tight end. So we have successfully, as long as we don't draft another quarterback too early, we have successfully navigated breaking all the rules. Wasn't that fun, or isn't that fun? Okay. TJ Hawkinson goes later. That's someone that we can consider for our second tight end, and a Loveland Hawkinson tight end room would be nice also. We could stop at 2 there if we wanted to, and then we just get a lot of running backs and another wide receiver or two. We are going to be at pick 130. Oh, we know who one of our running backs has got to be here. So we got some interesting running backs to choose from. The one I was thinking of was Aaron Jones, that's also a bring back right there on our not a bring back, but a stack with Terry McLaurin also. So that's a nice one. Chris Rodriguez, people are excited about, but that's a little bit earlier for that. Jalen Coker still on the board, which is a little crazy. So is Matthew Golden, which would be like a bring back on Green Bay. That's crazy. Ferguson. So do we go Coker or do we go Golden? I think we go Coker because it would we got both Carolina guys here. Is Bryce is still on the board. Maybe we can push Bryce out of the 13th round into the 14th round. Why not? And our next pick is going to be Aaron Jones. We have 6 wide receivers now. We don't need a 7th unless we get some more. We're unless there goes White, which there goes Higgins. Okay, Aaron Jones, I like that pick here. Dallas Goedert available at basically ADP is nice as well. But Aaron Jones is part of our stack and a bring back, and we need running back. So it's good on all levels right there. Coker was just value and stacking on Carolina. And maybe we get a fall, maybe we force a falling Bryce Young because that as well. Unless you want to stack a running back, there's no one else to stack really right now when it comes to Carolina. You have to like kind of backstack it, like an ugly backstack too at that. Okay, so we still need running backs. We are not taking a quarterback with either of these next 2 picks because them's are the rules. There are some running back targets here that we can go after also. We have Chris Rodriguez, who we still have highlighted. James Conner is an interesting one on this one just because we already have part of the Arizona backfield. And unless Arizona takes another player, it'd be nice to maybe just kind of get both of the most likely backs on that team. Keaton Mitchell's another one that some people are super high on. He's actually almost going in the 150s now, which is crazy. So I think those are our 2 biggest targets at running back. Up there goes Rodriguez. And then Connor. Where's Connor going? 158. If Dallas Goedert fell to us at 154, we'd have to take the fall on that and be happy with it. Stefon Diggs is constantly falling into the 150s, so not surprised that that's kind of didn't happen, but almost happened. Wouldn't have been surprised if it did happen. Zach Charbonnet is kind of interesting when you, but we when you need running backs for later on. That's true. Let's see. Hurts team is going to be drafting up here in a moment. Let's see what he's got. Here's the Hurts team. He's already got 2 tight ends. This team's got no tight ends though, so you'd think he'd just take Goddard. He did. There's Bryce Young. We can't take him right now though. Was it no quarter? Well, we took him in the 14th round, right? Oh snap! Don't take Keaton Mitchell. That's our guy. You already got 4 running backs you don't need. Is it? Which round is it? 3 QBs through round 13. Okay. Keaton Mitchell here in round 13. And then we're trying to go Bryce Young in round 14. Bretton Strange still available is nice too. We just have Loveland. We don't need, and he got Bretton Strange. All that's a stack for the Lawrence drafter. Well done. Oh, he took Bryce Young. Damn. Travis Hunt Brooks. Try to get some upside with this next. Chig is also an interesting pick right here. They'd both be stacks. Where does Hawkinson go? 175. So we'd rather get the Hawkinson to make it all the way back to us than get Chig. We're going to take, let's see. We have a good amount of Jonathan Brooks. We're going to do it again. Because we need to catch up at running back still. I feel like just because a lot of boring stuff to go with our one exciting guy. Travis Hunter is a fun pick, but we already have so much here that Travis Hunter doesn't do as much to this team. While if Brooks hits, he does everything for this team, and it just adds our Carolina thing. I was really hoping to break those rules and get Bryce Young at the same time. That would have been sweet. Did Bryce Young do anything for him? I don't think it did. Yeah, that's a bad pick for him. Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, that's just getting a third QB to get a third QB. And thank you very much, I guess, right? Like that weakens your team a little bit. I don't even need a third QB. I'm happy with two. Also, when I was looking at the prior video and just looking at, the strategy of three QBs and two QBs, I kind of dig, and I think I mentioned this actually maybe in the ADP video as well, or the market movers video. I think I dig Aaron Rodgers at the end of drafts. Jacoby Brissett's also an option if you were to make it through. We do have not like a good stack, but we have a thing there. This is a nice pick. This is a nice pick. Calvin Ridley this late is now even is a nice pick also. A lot of running backs that are still kind of nice picks around here. Spears goes. Njoku goes. I'd rather have Njoku go. We want these two tight ends to get to us. One of the teams after me has two tight ends. One has three. Chig didn't. I was gonna take Chig first, just because we already have two Minnesota guys, and and Kyler historically has a hard time, getting the ball to the tight end compared to other quarterbacks. These are our two biggest targets. These guys have three running backs and five running backs. The tight end does more than the running back here, although I do like Emmanuel Wilson. There's more risk in the Emmanuel Wilson pro. Oh man, that's unfortunate. Okay, we'll take Emmanuel Wilson then. At least we had a couple of people queued up. That was his third tight end there. So we have six running backs now. I could see us going Tank Bigsby with our next pick and being done at running back. Or Nicholas Singleton, one of the only rookies to be rising. AD Mitchell could have been an option too, just because ADP value. But we saw Geno Smith already get drafted a while earlier. Mooney goes. Mooney, like, I don't mind Mooney this early if you have Dart. I don't understand it if you don't have Dart, though. Is it one of these two? Oh, you took Kamara. Okay. We're going to go Tank Bigsby here. And when you don't do the two running backs in the first four rounds, I think you do need to kind of build it up a little bit. And if you feel like there's good value there and not good value at other places, like what's from Dalton Schultz and K. Dotton and Helm and Ferguson and Fryermuth and Parkinson and Gesicki, I don't think there's a whole lot. So I'll just take the running back, Bigsby, who I think there probably is a difference between Bigsby and as you go down more and more of these guys. And we need to get how many picks do we got left? We got 4 picks left. We probably want to get two tight ends, at least one wide receiver, and then maybe a QB. I like those two QBs at the end if they just keep on falling, because Penix, I think, is expected to be the starter at the end if things go right for him. And I think Aaron Rodgers is expected to be the starter. And if you can get an Aaron Rodgers Fryermuth thing going, I like that. And that could be like our next 2 picks, Aaron Rodgers, Fryermuth, if we don't see anything else that we like more. K. Dotton would be a Tampa Bay thing. Aaron Rodgers just went. I still, there we go. So K. Dotton would be at least, we got this Tampa Bay thing going and Carolina thing going. So that's an option also. Malik Washington is rising up the boards because he's expected to be the number one, but him as a number one still isn't going to impact our team a whole lot. He has 2, he has 3. They both hit, I don't care which one of those tight ends in general that I get. So we go QB, tight end, there we go. We're gonna go tight end to start with K. Dot and see what happens. It's the stack-ish pick for us. Does the getting Fryermuth back around? I've seen it happen. There's the Aaron Rodgers. He already got 3, so no one else is really incentivized other than the guys that have like 1, and Fryermuth went there anyway, so we weren't getting it. So this guy was just kind of taking top of ADP a lot as well. So if we didn't take Otten, we probably weren't getting him back. Probably a good idea that we did it the way we did it then, if you want to look at it that way. I don't think there's another tight end that we need to target right now. So if the QB makes it back to us, we're going to do that. If not, maybe we'll just take Malik Washington, I guess. I do like the 2 LA tight ends. He took Hollywood Brown, who's been rising up the boards. Round 18, Michael Penix. Hopefully he's there for the playoffs for us. And that gives us a reason to maybe Jahan Dotson is not a Eagle anymore. Jahan Dotson is a Falcon, right? Let's see. Yeah, he's a Falcon now. So he's the number 2 Falcon right now on the team. And then tight end, Parkinson, Gesicki. There aren't any Central Division tight ends left, unless you kind of like Musgrave or something like that. Atlanta. So we got 10. Oh, okay. I wish I would have said this. What did I miss? We'll pretend I was thinking this ahead of time. Penix is actually a really good pick here because being on Atlanta, he correlates with my Tampa Bay Carolina stuff that I got going on as well. I only need one more tight end since I did get Kate on here. These are our last two picks. I do think these two actually make sense. The guys after both have three tight ends. We'll just take Jahan Dotson right here to lock that up as our seventh and final wide receiver, I think. There are a lot of other interesting wide receivers available, both rookies and not rookies. Ooh, Gesicki goes as his fourth tight end. There's Jatavian Sanders, which is the backstab. Savion Williams. There's Ted Hurst, who we were talking about in the prior video. We have seven wide receivers already, and we went hard at wide receiver. I think we just got to take Colby Parkinson, which, he if he stays the dominant tight end on the Rams, that's a beautiful pick, is what that is. Okay, let's see what we got going on here as we finish the draft here. We have close to your traditional 3-6-8-3. We just got one more running back, one less wide receiver. We took a early tight end and then two at the very end of the draft. Now, let's just talk about our rules first off. We finished all the rules. We have three QBs, but we only had two through 13, and we almost had the ultimate third QB in the 14th round, but we missed it. That being said, I do feel like having Mitchell and Brooks probably gives us a stronger team than Young and Mitchell. And on top of that, Penix going at the end of the board might be a stronger QB to end the season, which is what we really need with that one. We don't need a QB for the beginning. We need a QB for the end of the year, maybe. And that might give us a higher upside QB at the end of the season if he is the starter. So it actually probably works out for us that we were forced to skip on Bryce Young there. Even if I wasn't following these rules, I'd probably draft that same way just because of how many QBs everyone else had. Let them make the mistake and grab the uncorrelated QB. We two running backs through four, but never Kyron. We only had one quarterback through four. So we broke that rule also. Draft good players. That one's a little subjective, so we're not really going to follow that one a whole lot. That being said, if you want to argue, Arizona's not the greatest team, and Carolina's not the greatest team. So and Atlanta's not the greatest team. So we drafted some players on bad teams. And then no tight ends through five. And like we said, we definitely have a tight end. We got them in the fourth round. We did pull them up so that we could break his rules, Peter Overzet's rules. But there was a rhyme to there was a reason to our rhyme, a method to our madness, and that was that we had Central Division here in in Jefferson, and so then we got the North here in Loveland as well, and so it made sense. We never got a Green Bay Packer on our team. We could have done Watson here and then Williams here, and if you told me that we weren't able to get Jaden Daniels, then I definitely would have just taken probably Watson here instead to get just the North correlation. That being said, it's tough to get a McLaurin Daniels stack where your not reaching for one of them or both of them. And I had an opportunity to do so. So I had to kind of take it and just barely missed out. Okay, so we broke all the rules. Yay for us there. We ended up with a three, and did it work out? A 3-7-7-3. We stacked our quarterbacks. Murray, we got a triple stack in Minnesota, almost a quadruple stack, but we just were one pick off of TJ Hawkinson, who he overdrafted his tight ends, I think. He had Warren, Ferguson, and then Hawkinson. That just doesn't make much sense if you ask me to to go grab him there with no correlation. It's just a little rich. I mean, it's not the worst. You could do a lot of worse things than that. So whatever, it's okay. I just am salty because I wanted him on my team. Uh, and then our third tight end's Parkinson unstacked just to try to get some points there at the end. And we would have been okay with Parkinson or Gesicki would have been fine. We could have also just done Jatavian Sanders, but he's coming off of a broken leg, I think it is. And we already got two Carolina Panthers on our team. We don't need a third one, especially a third one like that. And he doesn't really have much upside. At least he hasn't demonstrated the upside a whole ton. While Parkinson actually demonstrated a little something something last year, and there's risk that he might not have the starting job. But as a last round pick, I think it makes sense, and I think he'll get plenty of targets. That's what they do in on the Rams. They kind of move those targets around. Now, I was looking for Ferguson. I couldn't find Ferguson really quickly. Did someone take him? I don't see him taken here. Let's see if I just missed him. He was drafted. Where was he drafted? Because I was considering also like, do I want Parkinson or Ferguson? I think Ferguson's the more exciting one. Parkinson's probably the safer one. Where did Ferguson go? Way early? Jake Ferguson. Where's the other ones? Oh, there he is. Okay, 16th round. Yeah, we weren't getting him that early. Did he go? I don't even think that was the Stafford. It was the Stafford drafted at least, but he way overdrafted him. So if you told me I get Ferguson in the 16th round or Parkinson in the last round, I'll take Parkinson, I guess. Okay, so we got Parkinson just to kind of give us a third tight end, considering our second and third tight ends were so late. We went heavy wide receiver to start. Jefferson, McMillan, McLaurin, Addison, that's 4. Godwin, that's 5 through 9. And then we have 6 through 11. And the nice thing about that was a lot of them, not all, but some of them were fallers, right? Tet was a faller by a couple picks. McLaurin was a faller by 10 picks. Addison, we pulled up, but that was for the double stack with Minnesota. Godwin, we picked 10 picks after. Coker, 13 picks after. And then Dotson just was to round out what we had going on. Because we do have a nice bring back with our Michael Penix pick. We have the stack with Dotson, but then we have the bring back with Jalen Coker, Tet, and Jonathan Brooks. So that actually is a nice little thing we got right there. And then we also bring back with Godwin and Otton too. So that's a really nice bring back if you ask me. Really nice construction. We know we have the bringbacks with all the North Division as well. Because we went hard on wide receiver early and then got value late, and so just kind of kept on drafting wide receivers, we had to go a little harder at running back. Love, we're hoping, can become what we think he can be by the end. But to start off the season, ideally, we got Tyler Algier, who's running with things to begin with. Aaron Jones, who I think is still a value here at 135, who's also stacked with our Kyler Murray. Hopefully he gets some run to begin with. And then at least hopefully, and then Emmanuel Wilson too, right? Because Zach Charbonnet is not going to be their start. And so far, Seattle hasn't signed another running back. maybe they signed Tank Bigsby, who knows? Or maybe Tank Bigsby just stays with Philadelphia. But this is I think this running back room works. We don't have lots of quality, but we got some quantity for this team right here at running back. We were talking about trying to get the other Arizona guy and Connor. We clicked on him, but like starred him, but he never got back to us. Let's see where he went. 12. There was Charbonnet. We did Mitchell Brooks, and then it was like, will Connor make it to us? And did I pass him? Did I? There he is right here. Oh, he went before we even got to Mitchell. Okay. So yeah, that's okay. 152. We would have considered him here with like this Mitchell Brooks, and then Connor, I think, is fine as well as a pick. But I'm happy with how things worked. I think it's good that we missed out on Bryce Young. It's a little unfortunate we missed out on Hawkinson just because it would have been a nice Minnesota stack. But I think we did okay with our running backs. And Wilson and Bigsby, I think, fit this team. If we were to get Hawkinson right here, and let's say, for example, Wilson gets drafted, and then we get Bigsby here, then we get Otten, Penix, Jahan Dotson. Then it's like this last round pick as a running back. And the running backs down here are just really ugly. It might go something like a rookie like Randall, we might do. But they get really ugly as you get further down. This is one that is starting to happen. I did it in one, and if you get Lamar, which does he have Lamar? He doesn't. He just took Hill. Hill might be starting. I didn't see him rising up the boards, but I've seen him drafted now, and I wasn't seeing him drafted at all before. So I think this was if you ask me, this is a successful draft. I'm not saying that it's better than other drafts. Maybe we'll do an evaluation of all of them at the end. But this was I'll take this team. I think it's an exciting team that the build makes sense for it. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.